And I found that if I can provide the right support, if I can provide the right tools, if you can do that to your staff, I'm sure they will not leave you because they will feel that they are heard. They feel that their competencies and their qualities, their technical knowledge, everything is improving. And they will feel that the club, with the years passing, with the seasons going, that the club also belongs to them. So they are now part of your community. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the newest series that I'm launching now regarding football club management and what you need, the tools that you need to achieve better results, a better strategy, and also a more organized institution where you're working regardless, again, the size, if it's too big or if you have a small organization with less people. But then you also want to know that everything that you're going to do here, it's going to create a greater impact than if you have a big organization where there's a lot of people and they need to implement everything perhaps slowly. Because again, as we're going to speak today, culture, talent, and learning, this is something that is always related to one thing, and that thing is people. And people is the most, I would say, probably underrated element when we think about not only football organizations, but organizations as a whole and companies and so on. Why? Because people define your organization. People do the organization. There's no organization without people. There's no companies without people. So you need the people, and you also need the people to buy your products or go and attend your matches. So people is the key element around everything. People are also the players. People are the stakeholders, as the parents probably, or the fans, or your community, or your board of directors. Everything is people. So you need to focus on that. So when we understand that, what is the most important thing about people? And that thing, when you think about your organization, and we discussed already the mission, the vision, the values are so important when you think about finding the right people for your club, because that's the challenge number one. I will probably say is the biggest thing at a football club is the recruitment. Why is the recruitment so important? Because you need to define who you want and you need to select who you want at your club. Who is that person? Who are those people that are going to be working at your club? What are their values? So normally when you think about this, you start thinking about the importance of the values. And people, majority of the time, they will say the culture that you find at your club is how people behave when you are not there. That is the right culture. That is exactly when you need to think about culture. That is exactly what you look for. How do people behave when you are not there? That's the culture of your club. That's the culture of your organization. And that's exactly what you need to aim for when you think about recruitment. Once we understand that the biggest challenge that we are going to find at our organization is recruitment, we start valuing everything that we spoke before. So, on that, we need to think about character, also technical knowledge, because that's eventually what you are going to end up delivering, but perhaps that is trainable. But most important for me are intentions. What are the intentions of those people that surround your club? What are the intentions of those people that are day to day on the operations of your club in relationship with your customers, or in this case, with your community, with your players, with the parents? Who are they and what are exactly their intentions? Are they nice people? Are they people that you want to hang out for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Or they are just people that are there doing their job, and once the clock ticks, they are just ready to go home and job done. That's exactly what you need to think when you think about recruitment, because people that work at your organization, they need to embody not only the values that you want, but they also need to embody the vision that the club has. the strategies that the club are trying to implement. They need to understand that. They need to understand that it's not an objective that someone has, an objective that only the directors that are too far from the reality of the day-to-day operations want for the club. It's something that is within the club, within everyone at the club, from the president to the directors to the head of the departments to then, of course, the people that are on the operations, the day-to-day operations, and that eventually will be expressed on the field when you're talking about the performances of the teams. They might not be immediate, but because the culture is something that it takes a lot of time to change, if you can change it, but you cannot change it if you don't change the perception of the people that are there. If you cannot change alone. Definitely you cannot change it alone. So when we think about this, now we need to think about the processes that you need to make to achieve the recruitment in high standards. You need to understand what are the processes that you're taking, perhaps the stages that you are doing when you do the interviews, when you run, of course, the candidates that are applied for the positions that you have, how you're gonna create a strategy in terms of the recruitment, of course, that is not only fair, and by fair I mean, just to give you a clear idea, if you are creating a process in terms of the recruitment, perhaps to make it fair, you want to make exactly the same questions to everyone. So there's no deviation from whatever the path that you are doing. And on the other side, it's easy for you to compare when you are thinking about two candidates. It's easy for you to compare who do you want? What is the answer that correlates better with what you are looking for the club at this specific moment? So you want the recruitment process to be fair, but also you want to make sure that is competitive. You want to make sure that is something that people are trying to get into your club. That can come into different ways. It can come because you have a very good reputation. It can come because the packages that you are offering are very good. However, regardless of how people reach you, you need to make sure that you are ready and you have the processes ready to accommodate the right people at your club. The good news is that now you have the right people at your club because you made a recruitment process that is top notch. It's something that people are really key to join your team, and you made an amazing job. Good job. Congrats. Now you need to keep them. And that is a big challenge because you want to keep them, you want to keep their intentions high, you want to keep their motivation high, you want to keep them motivated to be there, you want them to embody exactly the vision that you have for your club. How are you going to do that? That is very challenging, I can tell you in first person. However, the way that I found that is more stable, that provides more consistency, and also that embodies and creates a more, well, probably the word is aligns exactly the objectives that the club has with the objectives that your staff has, each individual, is by learning, by creating their diversified way of learning, helping them to improve their skills, helping them to feel more relatable to what the club is delivering, helping them perhaps to do their own projects within the club. So there was once someone that told me, if I can provide you all the tools at this club, why are you going to leave? And that made so much sense to me at the time. It really resonated with me at the time. And I found that if I can provide the right support, if I can provide the right tools, if you can do that to your staff, I'm sure they will not leave you because they will feel that they are heard. They feel that their competencies and their qualities, their technical knowledge, everything is improving. And they will feel that the club, with the years passing, with the seasons going, that the club also belongs to them. So they are now part of your community. Now they are going outside of the club, they are going outside of your community, and they are going to their community and they are saying the good things that you are doing at your club, and that eventually will create a greater and better community for you as well to use, and of course, then to make sure that everyone is happy. Now, this will not last forever, and this is the biggest challenge. Eventually, people will leave. and you're going to have to learn to live with that. There are some people that you want them and you're going to do whatever you can to keep them, but there are some other that maybe you're not that sad that they are leaving. The truth is that this is as real in a football club, in any company, as in your life. So life is what it is. You don't need to feel ashamed about that. Eventually, you're going to be more friends with someone than with the other ones. And that's okay. You just need to live with that. We are now reaching the end of episode 3. This one, I feel that was a quick one. However, taking in consideration the things that we spoke before, not only about the mission, the vision, the values, the objectives, the strategies, and then, of course, the action plans. We spoke on episode 2 about organizational charts and how you want to create the hierarchies within your club. And of course, the structures, the departments. And now we are aligning all this information with the people, the ones that will be on the field, on the day-to-day operations. And sometimes people say, don't hire the CV, the technical qualities. Don't focus only on that. Focus on the soft skills. Focus on the intentions. Focus on the commitment. Focus on the motivation to be there. Now, this third word, motivation, it will not be there all the times. And you need to be really, really careful about this, because motivation might be high and low one day or the other, but the talent, the TLC, the talent, learning, and culture, that will give you the right set of tools that you need for people to be committed at your club, for people to embody the values that you have, the values that you are promoting at your club, and that will stick with them longer than any motivation. And that's the powerful thing about the TLC, because you are nurturing your staff, and that staff will come back to you with the same levels of sharing knowledge, with the same levels of nurture, and that will create a better community for your organization, for your club. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understand that. And I hope you understand that not only it's important for you to hire the right people, but it's also important for you to lead by example. I finished the last episode talking about that, about the example, the tool, the powerful tool that leading by example provides to everyone around you. In this case, when you're talking about culture, it really needs to be top down. The president needs to embody exactly the same values as he or she is trying to promote at the club, and the organization is defending those values. And once everything is aligned from top down, it's very easy to start seeing results on the field, because eventually that's exactly what we are trying to do here. We are trying to provide you tools for you to align all the strategies, all the ideas that are now in your head, for you to put them into an organized structure, an organized format that people can not only rely on, but they can look and also embody that within them. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you on the next episode. We are going now to the financial management, and then we're gonna go through also the law side of football, and of course the governance. I'll explain you briefly the importance of that when you think about the strategies at your club. But also we're gonna delve into the technical part of things. So more like the relationship as a coach, and how everything that we spoke before, all these alignments, will then create results at the field, not only in terms of winning more competitions, winning more matches, but perhaps creating and developing better players, because those players, they will again finance wherever the objectives that you want. So everything goes in circles, and I hope you are understanding that by this series. I'll see you next time. If you have any doubts, you know already, drop me a comment here, send me a message, whatever you want to do to reach me out. I'm here to listen to your doubts. Okay? Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next episode.